Welcome everybody to once again an exciting episode of the Everything Horror Podcast. My name is the beautiful Lewandowski.
And I'm Tessa Baker.
And that is the handsome Tessa Baker. Anyway, get it on with the episode. We are talking about the 3rd year anniversary of the Everything Horror Podcast. Tessa, what do you think of that? 3 years.
Holy shit, time flies. It's hard to believe, really.
Yeah. Did you even think we would even make it this long? Let's be honest now.
Honestly, at first, no, I didn't. But it's amazing how far we've come and all the people that we've met along the way on our 3-year journey now.
Right. Now, just out of curiosity, if there is even a curiosity here, but what made you think, since you said no, you didn't think we'd still be here, what made you think that we weren't going to be here?
Because of life in general, just things, like work and just life in general, and I also thought maybe, like, it would be something that it started out as a hobby and it just became something more and it was unexpected. And with a new adventure we're going to be starting in roughly 5 months, I guess it was just something that I wasn't sure if it was going to be able to we were going to be able to keep it up.
Yeah, I mean, I will agree with you with that. And there was some floppy times, nonetheless, bumpy roads and everything else. And whether that be with, life or something. So, I mean, at some point, it's like, we're not really, I find it, I tell myself we're not really that well known. But then we get told that there's actually people out there that speak about us. And that's how some of the people that we interviewed actually find us, is because they hear chatting in a bar or chatting somewhere out of state, where it makes me just go, I wonder what type of shit are they talking about? Because I didn't expect even to hear anything about we would be mentioned in somebody's conversation in a bar. But you know what? That's actually kind of cool. And on top of that, Tessa, before we even get into like the big, list of shout outs here, but now how do you feel about, first off, we surpassed 500 likes on Facebook. I didn't see that coming. How about you?
Definitely blew me away. I will say that. That was definitely a holy shit moment.
Yeah. And then on top of that, it was just like everything just became interesting. And what I mean by that is we got on a couple things this time around. It took like almost 3 years, but I thought it's actually kind of cool and nice to actually physically hold something that has the podcast name on it. And one of those things is Afterlight Comics, who was grateful to put our name on the back of issue number 5 of Ghost Island number 5, The Exorcism. We were there with a couple others, and then after that, we ended up traveling onto the back of pretty much the entire issues, I forget how you want to call it, but pretty much it's like a trade paperback of all the issues of a comic in one, so it's pretty much just like the complete collection of the issues. And it was for Storm King Comics, John Carpenter Presents Tales of Science Fiction, Twitch. And we were able to score a nice, suitable quote for the back of their lovely book. And that right there, too, you know, because we're talking about John Carpenter and, like, his wife, who founded Storm King Comics to begin with. And then, you know, we meet all these awesome people that are involved with Storm King. Like, we got to meet Richard Clark. We got to meet Janice, who,
Chang,
who is the editor. Richard did the artwork for Twitch. And, you know, it's just nice that the community of theirs, even with, like, the lady behind the, you know, the presses, the review copies for Storm King was just so nice and everything else. It's just like, you know, it's amazing what the horror community is really good at. It's showing respect for people and helping small people like us out. Finally, and I'm going to just put this right here just to be kind of like a disclaimer. So if I accidentally drop the ball, whoops, because my phone hasn't rang. I haven't gotten an answer back. And, well, here goes nothing. So, I want to give another shout out to Jed Brian. And I think all I'm just going to say is thank you for allowing us to be placed on your creation. And that could go two ways if people want to go about it. Ha ha ha. So, because we are on, you know, Jed's lovely con table cover, where it had the infamous quote of the owner works in mysterious ways, you'll never see him coming. And then there's something else that's going on. And yeah, I think that's it. But I probably already blew it anyway, but we'll see. Whoops. So, once again, sorry, Jed. Finally, we just got word of this, so I know I can say this. But finally, the last one is another book, and we are going to be featured on the back of the upcoming author's Red Lagoe upcoming release, Lucid Screams. So, I want to thank all you lovely people for thinking of us and putting the Everything Horror Podcast name on your work. Whether it be something twice or once, and being able to just hold it and buy it to appreciate you for even thinking of us, for us small people, from the bottom of our little black frozen black hearts. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much. It's very surreal to be featured on the back of your creations. And it means a lot to both of us that you would include us like that, really. So, thank you from both of us. Well, all three of us.
That's right, because Amara is going to probably be part of the show at some point, too. If not part of the upcoming new horror generation of women in horror. Because this is also Women in Horror Month. So would that mean she's a baby in Horror Month? Let's throw that out there. Let's do it. I mean, it would have been more interesting, too, if she were born in February, let's just say. Because then, not only would she be born in February, but she would be born in the February of Women in Horror Month. Interesting. We didn't get that lucky.
She's actually going to be born in July, so, she'll be born around July 17th, so that's when our little girl will be here.
The next big troublemaker, as I say. Anyway, going down the list here, let's see what we got going on too. Right. So, we had a lot of interviews. I call it a lot. Mainly what made it fill up the list, though, for this absolutely amazing shout-out list, is just because there was some times where people did bring in a lot of people, which turned it not only into not really an interview, but it became more of a roundtable interview, like Morte Tales of the Morte Tales of Death or something. It's like I can't even remember the full title now. It's like Morte.
So apologize.
Yes, I apologize. I know the name that I'm trying to think of, and it's just like I can't remember the whole thing because there's so many names that I gotta remember right now. So, without further ado, let's get this big list done, because we still got a couple more people to thank even after this big-ass list that we have going on. So right now, these are the following people that we would love to thank. And I think the best way to go about this is maybe just do, kind of go back and forth, I think, with this. That way we just don't kill each other with names. So let's start this bad boy up, I guess, and we'll do our best to pronounce names. Otherwise, I'm just going to just state your first name and where you came from, because I'll remember what interview it was. That I will remember. So let's test his memory. And first off, we got Tom Ryan.
Secondly, we have Avelina De Moray.
Next, we got Nicole Sell.
Courtney Akbar.
Mike Schiff, which is the man behind the upcoming documentary for the history of horror and metal documentary. So if I did pronounce your last name wrong, at least I know, Mike, where you're from, which is that heavy metal horror documentary, pretty much. So if you have not checked that out, check it out.
Ben Scrivens.
He's the owner of Fright Rags, yep. Next, we got John Russo, who is the legendary man behind... Really, babe? Night of the Living Dead.
Yes, Night of the Living Dead.
I was hoping you were just going to say it. But, okay. Well, we failed this, at least. Alright, next is Nicholas Jacobs.
Ron Riekki.
Jeff Sartain.
Betsy Baker.
And if you don't know who Betsy Baker is, get out. Next thing is Rocky Gray.
Tony Wash.
Ben Lewandowski.
Douglas Ewen.
Dan Lee.
Jeffery Potts.
Haley JoAnna.
Stacy Cox.
Jed Brian.
Christopher Wells.
André. Oh, God. André, I remember, is from the roundtable interview that we did for the essay book of the Evil Dead, franchise games, everything that they did. And it's pretty much like, the everything of the Evil Dead. And that's another one that is actually blanking my mind right now, but I can see the book. And that is why all you lovely people that are visiting us on the website or Podbean, something that actually is able to see the links, but if you're listening to it on iTunes and platforms that do not have the ability for you to have these links, then you don't know what I'm talking about when I say just hover over the name that we say, or at least as we try to pronounce their name, and you will be able to go to the interview with them. So that way you know exactly what we're talking about with them. So, next up on the list, we got, let's see, you know what? Yeah, it was him. Stefan Hall.
Helen Shin.
Jason Lorefice.
Seth Breedlove.
Joe Willie or JP Willie.
Christopher Zieba.
Alex Merkin.
Chris Ambriz.
Luis Alvarado.
Mario Aguilar.
Tara Allen.
Eric Lee De La Garza.
Ashley Ann.
Daniel P. Coughlin.
Kevin Lockhart.
Joey Oliveira.
Jermaine M. Boyd.
Sean Burkett.
Billy Blair.
Lane Fobbs.
John Ward.
Cameron Scott.
Benjamin Rivers.
Lori Brewster.
Tony Sand.
David Whalen.
Jillian Fortune.
Stacy Stearns.
Bo Yachty.
Madeline Holly Rawson.
Red Lagoe. And Nancy Kilpatrick.
So, thank you, everybody.
Whew, what a list. And if we pronounce any of those names wrong, like I said, we apologize right now for butchering your damn names. We apologize. And if you haven't made this list yet, well, don't feel bad. Unfortunately, you'll have to wait to hear your name in a year. Because we start the new year, so this will be the third year, which will run from February 12th, 2020 to February 12th, 2021. And I don't know what to expect in 2020 leading into 2021, except for Amara is going to be talking sometime in August, as I had to guess.
Well, she won't be talking, but she'll probably be gabbing by the time February 12th, 2021 comes around, so.
That's right. Now, now we got that big list out of the way. Now, let's go into the next part of what we have, Tessa. So what did we do last year when it came to Kickstarter?
We ran a Kickstarter for Paul's short horror film, The Passenger, Vermont Urban Legend, and we got crazingly shocking results in a very short time frame.
Yes. So, unfortunately, that's like 52 backers. So if you really want to know who helped it, there's a Kickstarter link below. Otherwise, for those people that cannot click on a link, just go to our website, ehpodcast.com. So that is ehpodcasts.com. And you can just click on this episode's article and you can just, view the links from there. But yeah, there is a Kickstarter campaign link where you can just pretty much, I'm pretty sure, see some sort of idea of who backed. Because I'm pretty sure I did, make a huge image for it. So, and if you can't find that, well then just go on IMDb and just type in The Passenger of Vermont Urban Legend and you can see all the special thanks, producers, everybody that was kind enough to help bring the short horror story to life, which is actually based on a real folklore from my hometown. And so let's just put it this way. I thank all 52 of you backers. Let's just put it that way. Because without all 52 of you guys,
Paul's vision wouldn't have been brought to life.
Well, it could have, but maybe not in the way we we wanted it to. Like, look at your makeup. I mean, I don't really know if we would have been able to afford Katie without, I don't know, talking to her about something. Some, like, negotiation or something.
Negotiations. And
everything else. So, and you know what? Speaking of which, I want to thank the following people. Betsy Baker, Jason Lorefice, Katie Kinworthy, Flora Davis, Jeremy Pratico, and I think that was it, really. Because I know it was like a really small... Oh, and my mom, because she had a old school baby doll that we used for the end of the film. Even though you couldn't really probably see the baby doll's head, but trust me, it acted like a real baby in that final scene. Even though we tried our best to make it look like you could see a baby's head, but whoops. If I am forgetting anybody else, I apologize. But anyway, moving on. So, by the time the film was coming out before, I did send some people a press copy. And I want to thank Stace Meister, the Horror Center, for the nice review. I want to thank Darsh Reviews Movies. I want to thank Cannibal Kid Reviews. And finally, and it pretty much promote horror, but his other blog is Horrors Gory Reviews. And I also want to thank Promote Horror for making an article about our campaign. So that was very kind. And I want to thank everybody again. But, most importantly, we need to thank... Oh, here we go. Here's me testing my brain again. Casey Allen from Spoiler Country. And John Horsley. Because Casey interviewed Tessa and I for Spoiler Country. Unfortunately, John didn't realize that. But, yeah. Whoops. Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you, Spoiler Country. And if you don't know who Spoiler Country is, you need to just hit that goddamn pause button. And wherever you're listening to this, I want you to search Spoiler Country. And I want you to hit that big fat follow button or subscribe button. And when you do that, please message Spoiler Country and let them know that Tessa and I sent your asses to them.
Yes, we sent you.
We command you. Go now. Now, I think that's about it, right, babe?
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Just to double check myself here. We did talk about that. We talked about that, and we talked about that. So, good. On that note, I don't know what 2020 is going to bring us, but we already have done a couple new things, and we've already started the Women in Horror Month. We got a couple more things to go on for this month, and we got some changes coming that I will announce hopefully soon, if not on the next episode. But until then, that's all I can say right now. Normally, as you guys know, when we do something like this, we actually go back and go through like all the likes, the listens, the downloads, compare them to see how much improvement we did. But I figured, you know what? At this point in time, whatever. If anything, we got 2 or 3 reviews. I know I saw 2 on iTunes. Oh, the third one would have been right. So the third or fourth, we should have had 4, but technically 2 were from another podcast that Tessa and I were trying to start. But apparently we sounded too much like other podcasts, so I shut that one down. So, if you know what I'm talking about, yes, it's no longer available, but maybe in the near future I will convert them over and throw them on here. So at least you guys can hear what you missed on the old podcast. And no, we do not have a Patreon anymore. The only way to donate to this show is by PayPal or becoming a Patreon through Podbean, but that's the thing. That's where the change comes in. So, pretty soon, it's going to be just PayPal. So, if anybody had any ideas to go through Podbean, now's your time to put that thought on hold as we start looking at a different change. And more on that, like I said, hopefully by the next episode, or if not, please keep in touch with us at ehpodcast.com, ehpodcasts.com, where we will let everybody know what is going on with the changes. That way you are all caught up and up to date of what's going on, so that way you do not miss future episodes with us on platform. So, this is all new to us still. We're trying to figure out an easier route for platform. And once again, another shout out to Spoiler Country. So, yes, that's all I'm going to say. But, like me and Tessa were saying, right now, go find Spoiler Country on your platform that you're hearing us. Hit that big fat follow or subscribe button. And tell them that we sent you. And that's really it right now. Except for, 3 years. Let's see if we can get our name out there even more on other things. And until next time, I was Paul Dolsky.
And I'm Tessa Baker.
And we are always wanting you to stay scary.